Today I'm going to show you a really good sequence of warm-up exercises that you can do that specifically focus on the lower body that will prepare you for lower body training. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's Blake Bowman here with GuerrillaZen Fitness, and in today's video I'm going to show you a little mobility warm-up routine that I put together that I basically use myself before I train my legs. So if I'm about to do like squats with weights, deadlifts, things like that, you know, I have a day set aside where I do lower body focused training. So I'll do things like squats, lunges, deadlifts, you know, all the big compound lifts for the legs. This is the exact warm-up sequence that I go through specifically for the legs, you know, to prepare myself to go hard and hit the weights hard and do a lot of heavy squats and deadlifts. So I'm just going to share with you my routine today. It combines foam rolling, stretching, and some, you know, activation exercises. So here it is. Hope you like it. All right, so here we go. Basically, I like to start with a little self-myofascial release of certain muscle groups on me that tend to get tight, and if these are tight on you, they'll really restrict your ability to do things like squats. So one of the first areas that I'll foam roll are the calves. I like to stack one foot on top of the other just to get a little bit of extra downward weight on there. Roll back and forth, twist the toe at different directions so you can hit different fibers of the calf. Okay, so that's the first place that I like to foam roll. I'm looking at notes down here just in case you guys are wondering. Second place that I'll roll are my quads here. I'll get right down the center of the quads, okay, both sides. Then I'll hit the adductors, so the inner groin muscles, kind of like splay your leg out like a frog like this, and roll those inner groin muscles from the knee all the way up to the inner groin. Okay, I'm abbreviating here. You want to roll back and forth at least 12 times at each of these muscles. Then I'll get the hip flexor, okay, specifically the TFL, which is kind of adjacent to your hip here. Basically, to get that, you just want to put one hip down like this, roll back and forth here about 12 or so times. From there, I'll move to my back. It's very important to foam roll your upper back if you're going to do something like squats, because a lot of people have tension up there. They're a little bit restricted in the thoracic spine. They can't lift their chest up, which is very important to be able to do if you are going to be loading your body up with heavy weights and doing squats. So I like to kind of bring my elbows together like this, move the scapula out of the way so I can really roll the musculature of the upper back. Right after I've done this, I'll go into a quick thoracic spine mobilization, okay? So after I've rolled back and forth 12 times, I'll brace my core, okay? And then allow my body to bend over the foam roller, using the foam roller as a fulcrum to force my thoracic spine to bend, okay? I'll move up a little bit. Okay, same thing here. You're trying to promote motion at the upper back, not the lower back, so keep your core tight. You don't want to be arching from the lower back, you want to be arching from the upper back. Like I said, using that foam roller as a fulcrum, okay? Move up a little bit more. You can do this for like a bunch of reps, like 50 reps is how much I'll do it for. Keep in mind, you want to start here and then move up to about the top of the shoulder blades. Don't go any lower than this. Don't go down here, because then you're going to be mobilizing your lumbar spine, which is oftentimes going to do more damage than good, okay? So that's how I start this routine. I foam roll the calves, my adductors, thighs, hip flexors, my upper back, and then I finish up my little foam rolling routine here with a couple thoracic spine mobilizations, okay? From there, what I'll typically do is an ankle mobilization. Now that I've kind of loosened up some of those muscles, I might stretch the calves too, but I'll definitely do this ankle mobilization. I've showed a couple variations where you lean your back against the wall and then you slide down the wall and let your knees go over your toes. You can do that, or you can just do a standing one like this, where you just push the knee in front of the toe like this. I will do this for about 15 reps, and I'm really trying to actually pull the toes up like that as I drive my knee forward. Okay, what that does is it's going to activate those dorsiflexor muscles of the lower leg, anterior tibialis. It's going to help improve your ankle mobility. This is very important, okay? So I'll just like do this really quick right before I do squats. Really trying to, like I said, pull the toes up towards the shin, okay? So that's, you know, one thing I'll do right after that. From there, I'll move into hip rotation. So I've showed this before, but I'm just trying to show you my complete sequence. I'll sit like this. I'll pull my toes up on one leg like this, and then I'll drop that knee down like this. This warms up the hips and improves internal rotation of the femur in the hip socket. Lots of people are missing this. If you're missing this, you're not going to be able to flex your hips properly. If this hurts your knee, don't do it, okay? But if it doesn't hurt your knee, then go ahead and do this, okay? This will help warm up your hips. I'll do about 20 reps of that on each side. From there, what I'll do is what I call a quadruped rock back, okay? So basically, what I'll do is I'll start here, quadruped, which means on your hands and knees, and I'll rock back into a full squat with my heels on the ground, like this, okay? And I'll do my best to not let my lumbar spine flex, so round forward. It's a little bit flexed right now, as you can see. Ideally, this is better, okay? Or even more ideally, even have a slight inwards arch of your back. I'm pretty restricted right now. It's first thing in the morning, so I'm kind of stiff. But basically, this is a great rocking active hip flexion motion that will prepare your hips for squats, okay? So this is how you do it basically right here. I'll do about 15 of these. Again, you want to do a better job than what I'm doing right now of keeping that lumbar spine almost extended like this, okay? If I had better mobility in my ankles, I would be able to do this without my heels lifting off the ground. But basically about 15 reps of those. You're going to find that that helps you out a lot. From here, I'll do some deep squat rotations. So I've showed this before, but I'll get into a deep squat here. Feet flat on the floor, heels on the floor. I'll kind of push one leg out like this 15 times. That's externally rotating the femur. We're going to do that same thing on this side. And then I might sink back a little bit and do a couple more of these internal rotations of the hip, okay? Alternating side to side here, okay? You want to spend time in this position. Anytime you're going to be squatting, your warm-up routine should focus on being in the position that you're trying to improve. So squats, if you're trying to warm up for squats or that movement pattern, then spend a lot of time in this position. From here, we're going to do some thoracic spine mobilizations, just like this, okay? 15 that way, 15 this way. Okay, we already warmed up the thoracic spine and did some mobility with regards to extension and flexion. This will help with the rotational component, okay? So after that, then we'll go into some hip flexor stretching. So basically keep one leg down, plant the other leg, posteriorly rotate that pelvis, squeeze the glute, squeeze the core. Squeeze your butt as you shift your hips forward 15 times, like this, okay? Not letting the lower back arch. And then from here, I'll modify this slightly by taking that foot and taking it that way a little bit, okay? So what I just did is I'm actually turning my femur leg bone in a little bit. So my foot's going out, but the leg bone is turning in, okay? So I'll keep my hips oriented forwards, take my leg out like this, and then rock forward like that. Same thing, squeezing the glute. You might find it a little bit harder to squeeze the glute, but I like this because it comes in, it hits the hip at a different angle. You're internally rotated, and this is just kind of like a way to add some variety to the hip, get it more, you know, ready to function properly, basically. So, oh gosh, this is a long routine. What else do I have on here? Yes, okay, so after that, we'll do some glute activation exercises. These are not designed to fatigue your glutes, just to get them activating, getting that neural drive firing through the muscle so that they're warmed up, so that they can fire better during your workout. Okay, so basically for these, I like to do 15 hip thrusters. Posteriorly tilt that pelvis, push the hips up, squeeze the glutes really hard. Okay, 15 of these, followed by 15 side lying leg raises like this. Sometimes I'll do more, sometimes I'll do less, but these are always part of my routine here, okay? You want to do those on each side, about 15 reps. Okay, from there, I will go into active hip adductions and abductions, followed by active hip flexion and extension, okay? What that looks like, let me see if I can demonstrate this. I'll grab onto a machine or something, and basically I'll swing my leg this way and then out that way, okay? But I'll really swing it a lot, okay? And I'll really let momentum kind of take over here, okay? Just like this. This is great for opening up the hips, activating the glutes, stretching the adductors. It's just really good. You want to do that for about like 30 reps. For me, I noticed that I get more benefits from doing that, just the more reps I do. So sometimes I'll do that like 50 times each leg, okay? After you've done that, you then want to do hip flexion and extension. So it's similar. You hold on to something for stability, but you're going to swing your leg in front of you and behind you instead. Okay? Again, same with that, about 50 reps. Keep in mind, you don't want to be like arching your back significantly when your leg is going behind you. You want to keep the butt kind of tight. You want to keep that lower back almost flat as your leg goes behind you. You might not be able to take it back as far, but you're extending your hip just as much, okay? So, and you're protecting your lower back. If you keep arching your back when you're doing that, you can predispose that area to injury. I wouldn't recommend it, okay? So that is basically what I'll do right before squats. Now the last thing that I'll do is like a crescent kick. I don't know if that's what you would call this. You guys can't see my face, but you don't need to see it. Basically, I'll like swing my leg out like that, and then I'll come from the outside in. Okay? This is an excellent way to activate the hip flexors and promote motion in the hip socket. I'll do that about 10-15 times on each leg. There you have it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to do this routine anytime before you train your legs, or if you do anything that's just really lower body centric, okay? Even if you're like somebody like a soccer player, you'll get a lot of benefit from this, okay? So, hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. Click that subscribe button right down there next to GuerrillaZen Fitness, that red button down there. And give the video a like if you liked it, okay? Lastly, if you want to learn more stuff like this, if you want to actually get a functional workout plan that I put together, then you need to get my 3-day functional training split. Basically, this is a 3-day workout plan that focuses on all of the major compound lifts, okay? And it's a functional training plan too, so there's a lot of unilateral things in it, one-sided exercises that promote muscular balance and optimize your posture while getting you stronger and leaner, okay? So, you know, that's available on my website. I put that together a couple months ago. If you want to get access to that, then just click the first link in the description down below or the first comment, because I'll put a link to my website there in the comment section. I'll pin it to the top. Basically, when you click that, it'll take you to my website. I'll ask you for your email, and then as soon as you enter in your email, I'll send you that workout. If you're looking for another spot to get 3-day functional training split, which I highly recommend, you can click this button right there. That'll take you to the same spot on my website as the rest of those links down there will. And again, if you're looking for another place to get access to subscribe to my YouTube channel, click this over here. And if you like this video and you want to see more like this, check out this one over here. That's it for today. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you next time.